When you're thinking you're helping somebody else, the best blessing I found is that I'm helping myself. The name of it is Perfect Imperfections. It means that we're not perfect, but we're made perfect through Christ. And in my prayers and studies with Him over in Proverbs 31, I learned that a woman that uses her hands is a woman of wisdom. She makes garments to supply and take care of her family. And from that, I had stopped many years ago sewing, and now I picked it back up again. I love this idea of upcycling, where you're taking things that have been discarded, no longer in use, things that people think they give away to the Goodwill and thrift stores and in the trash. And a number of my items have come from family members and friends that have discarded items and gave them to me. And I've turned them around. As people's lives are, a lot of times we discard people. Those that are homeless and those that are on the streets, people think that they're no longer valuable. But God showed me that there is value in everything that He created. He said everything He made was good, and there is use for it in the world today. So that made and came along with perfect imperfections. What makes it perfect is its imperfections. God saw that we were imperfect, and He saw good in us. And so that gave me the name of my line of clothing. As a little girl, I've always been creative. I loved hair. We wore some styles and Mama would say, no, you're not going to do that. But then she began to allow us to be ourselves. And I think that's a lost art, creativity. We want to manufacture and wear everything that everybody else is wearing. Look, why not let our girls and women be free to express your own selves and your own line, your own ideas, your own self-worth. It makes us different. And when we realize we were all fearfully and wonderfully made, we have our own styles, our own attitude. And I've always been one that loves to just push the button and be different from somebody else. So, and I think that's just a lost art that we need to get back to. We've gotten so far from teaching our children the skills that was taught to us. Now, in my growing up, my mother taught me to crochet. My oldest sister, Adrian, also inspired me by seeing some of the creations that she made just by using our hands. And Grandmama passed it on and Mama passed it on to us. And I would just ask every woman to look within yourself at what gifts you have and share them with your children. It's a lost art of making things. We spend so much in buying things from the store that only last the first time we wash it. But if we would self-make our garments with our own hands, I find that they're better quality. When we can get materials and clothing, cloth that is so valuable just in the thrift store, just by cutting it up and recycling it, refashioning it, if you would say, and using it all over again. So I love the idea that we should just go back to our roots, of going back sewing, hand stitching, cross stitching, crocheting, tailoring garments that we can share with us to make money, because that's how we are to provide for our families with the skills and the things that God has provided for us in the teaching. Just simple. I'm self-taught, took home economics in school. Don't even know if they still offer that anymore. One class of home ec got me inspired to begin to sew. And when I got my first sewing machine, I was so excited. And now, it's so exciting to go back to using those old techniques. Something that will never go out of season, that will never go out of time. They will be sewing garments and making items to the end of the world. When I say perfect imperfection, these are just garments that I received through my family and friends. I love to go to the Goodwill and just buy things that others would think that, oh, this is worn out and washed out. And as I began to make this garment out of ideas that God has given me, just by cutting the garment's arms out or restructuring so many new styles that are out now. The young people, you can get a lot of motivation. Don't overlook the videos and the things that the young people are doing on YouTube. I'm inspired by a lot of creations that they do, that you can make age appropriate just for yourselves. These are things that we can teach our young people how to have new garments and things to wear. When I was coming up in the ministry, I had so many new clothes every week because they thought that I was buying them, but I was refashioning things that I found in the thrift store. Just by changing the garment, cutting, gluing. So quick, you can make something brand new. This is called upcycling, where you use something that is already ready, and just by adding your own creations, just by using your hands, you have now made a new garment. Leave one arm on, making your own style, adding fur or changing the garment up, acid washing. I just like to show you a garment that I've used 5 pair of jeans to make different colors, to show diversity in my line by using different color jeans and cutting out circles and sewing them on just to make difference. Taking that same jacket where you cut up, making your own shapes and styles, now becomes a whole different garment. There will be only one of. People say, can you recreate that? Can you recreate each other? It's perfect imperfections. There's only one of us. Not trying to manufacture 30 of the same garments. There's only one of everything. That's what makes it perfect imperfections. I don't know where 2016 is going, but I know that I'm stepping out on faith this year to move forward in what God has given me, that others may be able to do the same. I'm willing to teach my nieces, so many young women in our family that are coming up. I want to share this gift with others to let them know that it's never too late. Your dreams still can be fulfilled if you just believe in yourself.